Hello everyone, and welcome to the launch of the fabulous 6th issue of the Primgraph. It's our most steampunk ever. And I would like to start by thanking Breezy Carter, the owner and creator of Piedmont, where we are now, for supplying this lovely setting for today's launch, and her beautiful underwater club, the Lotus, for our party later. And I'd like to thank Mr. Bats Enoch and Mr. Elric Merlin, who will be supplying music at the two events. Okay, in this issue, we're visiting the region of New Babbage, which is a collection of 7, soon to be 8, grimy, sooty, and very exciting areas, dominated by tall smoking chimneys and narrow brickwork alleyways, with canals and harbours that offer as rich and as vivid a life beneath the waves as they do above it. And I think you're going to find that out if you're able to join us for the party, which starts at 1 o'clock after this. So through the writings of Miss C.J. Writer, Miss Elegia Underwood and Sir Edward Pierce, the Duke of Argyll, you'll encounter mad scientists and disreputable urchins, some of whom I saw here earlier today, and a fair mix of respectable folk going about their everyday business of invention, adventure, and making sure the clocks run on time, which is particularly important in a place that owes so much to steam and clockwork. We learn from Miss Poppy Radzitsky, the epitome of the inquisitive lady reporter, how Mosovino Tenk, the new mayor of New Babbage, has spent his first 100 days, as well as meeting some of the citizens and hearing a tale of New Babbage too, from Mr. Aeolus Clean Slate. And there's an account of the sort of event that can only happen in an unexpectedly flooded vaudeville theatre in Babbage Square, a performance by a troupe of mermaidens dancing a synchronised ballet, complete with tool wrenches. Don't miss the pictures of that event. The Miss Frau Annishan Lowy is once more on hand to advise on the etiquette in the steamlands, and this month she's tackling the knotty question of how to pay a formal call on the local mad scientist and associated matters. And meanwhile, Our Lady of Propriety offers advice on the issue of having alternative personalities. At the same time, news from around the vintage and steampunk grid provides information on various projects and plans. Mr. Julian Beeswing describes the recreation of Maison Horta, while Miss Big Trafalgar describes the fascinating Ethernet salons held in Babbage Palisade. There's also a fascinating account by Miss C.J. Writer of the recent Homes and Gardens Expo held in support of Relay for Life. There's news of Relay for Life events too, including an update on the planned grand tour of vintage Sims, and I can tell you that Piedmont is going to be one of the locations in that grand tour, and it's going to be fantastic, really well worth coming aboard for the 24 hours of dances, picnics and parties that makes up the grand tour. Also in the magazine this month we have style and fashion reports from Miss Viv Trafalgar, who has some interesting advice for the lady who wishes to dress for the steampunk regions, while Miss Edwina Heron discovers the joys of steampunk with the aid of her devoted manservant Nigel. And Miss Kembry Thompson provides a fascinating guide to the changes of clothing needed throughout the day by any lady who aspires to fashion. Sir J.J. Drinkwater supplies an account of the Deadwood Libraries, 2 branches of the Alexandrian Library that cater for the Western Sims, while Mr. Justin tomorrow has given us a review of an etheric graphical novel and moving picture. We've got more of our classic serial, The Mysteries of London, and details of new acquisitions from the library, as well as another extract from the fascinating documentary record Henry Mayhew's London Labour and the London Poor, building up a detailed picture of Victorian life in a great city. The photographs in this issue are amazing, thanks to Mr. P.J. Trenton, Miss Wren Carling, Miss Vera Canning, and Miss Perry Applemore. It makes it one of the richest eye candy magazines I think you'll see in Second Life. And I'm not ignoring the fashion magazines when I say that. But that's not all. We have a new and exciting innovation in the form of our webcomic, The Quest for the Golden Prim. And really you should hear Elric Merlin saying that, because he's got this wonderful way of going, The Quest for the Golden Prim. We are intending to feature an episode in each issue of the Primgraph, and much more material will be appearing on the new dedicated Ethernet site. And you can read and enjoy as the mystery opens. A quiet library in Caledon. What secrets could it possibly hold? You have to read the first episode, and you'll begin to find out. In fact, this issue is something of a trailer, and this is the important announcement today, because we want you to play a part in this. We're going to be holding auditions for the cast of the webcomic, for the hero, the heroine, the lady companion, the brave, intrepid Tiny, the urchin stowaway, the villain, the villainess, the villain sidekick, the villainess's sidekick, various other characters too, including a few red shirts. If you want to make a fleeting appearance, we will be able to accommodate you too. And it's going to be a very, very exciting time for everyone who gets involved. Yes, parts of shoes could play important parts too. A Fabergé egg has already played an incredibly important part. You'll find more information through our amazing new Ethernet sites, which have been created by our etheric engineer, Miss Viv Trafalgar, at www.primgraph.com. And from here on our Ethernet blog, you can find out all the latest from the vintage and steampunk worlds and the Primgraph, not to mention keeping abreast for the quest of the Golden Prim on a special dedicated site. So, with no shortage of fascinating articles and beautiful illustrations provided by our brilliantly talented team, we welcome you to this 6th edition of the Primgraph.